Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. So, Psylock, you have entered this weapon shop. An axe smashes into the door as a nasty growl is given out. You are surprised. Oh shit, you were surprised. That axe accidentally hit you. Actually hit you.
What? Bullshit. I was actually... You rolled the d10 for surprise? Is that what you said?
I didn't roll the d10 for surprise. I kind of figured you were just sneaking into the shop and did not expect an axe to bear down on you.
I would argue the opposite.
Alright, well let me roll a d10.
Yeah, you always roll a d10 for surprise.
Alright, you're not surprised. It does miss you.
The kid just warned me that there would be a night watchman.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, I slink in. You know, the sound made... It sounded like you weren't expecting someone to be attacking you immediately, but the dice say otherwise, and I'm just...
Yeah. And we roll for initiative.
We roll for initiative.
6.
You go first.
Cower, fool! And I cast my Cause Fear. What is growling at me? Was it like a... Describe this growl in more detail. Was it a human-like growl?
It's a dwarf. A short, ruddy-haired, grumpy, frumpy dwarf whose beard is all unkempt, wearing chainmail and wielding a battle axe.
Does he pass his saving throw?
I believe he does. Yes, he does. Unless there's some penalties?
I don't think so.
He passes his save, whirls his axe around, and goes to smack you with it. One hit from his 2 attacks that catches you in the gut for 4 points of damage.
Is this like in the doorway, or have I stepped in?
You've stepped in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The kid is behind you, not really participating in combat.
Mm-hmm.
And the dwarf says, you're not the first one to try and trespass.
Alright, I guess we're going for it again. Yeah. Do I even...
What do you even? What do you even?
I was hoping he'd run. What is a longsword, 4 or 5?
4. 5. Longsword is 5. It weighs 4 pounds.
Okay, but I have high dex, so it should be 4. 11.
You go first.
All right, I will swing the longsword. Ah, shit! I shouldn't have done that. And
it clatters against his armor.
And offhand with a dagger is a clang as well.
Mm-hmm. The dwarf takes a few steps back, then does a short charge at you. Swinging his axe, yelling out loudly, "Back, you thieving bastards!" The axe clatters into you for 7 points of damage.
The fuck? AC 14?
Yeah.
What is
you are bleeding. Not damaging blood, but it is...
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess. And we roll initiative again.
I allow myself to be pushed, out into this, I don't know. I'm pulling back and casting a spell.
You back out of the...
I don't know. I may, just in the heat of battle, I may be getting pushed out. Fuck. Good thing battle axe is super slow.
Not that slow. Actually, this time he goes first.
And I die.
Swings his axe at you. It misses, whistling in front of you. As the dwarf gives a nasty
is on my side.
What do you do?
You know not who you meddle with. And I the axe wound that he just dealt me a minute before knits closed.
The dwarf takes a pause, glares at you, seems very distrustful of you.
I tower over him, probably several feet taller than him. Is this worth your life, mercenary?
No, but it's worth yours.
He gets a second
He
attack,
does get a
right?
second attack this round. He
Yeah.
comes after you, whaps you, something solid. Not a critical, though. And the axe hits you for 5 points.
I'm going to withdraw on the next round.
Okay. Initiative.
Right. If you take no attacks, you can just back up without provoking opportunity attacks.
Yes.
Add a third of your movement or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I slowly back out the door.
Okay. The dwarf comes to the...
And I as soon as, I mean, if does he follow me, or
he gets into the doorway and looks out into the street.
okay.
Sees
I mean,
you
I'll
back
try
up.
and flee or slip down the alley if I can.
Okay. He yells after you, "Come back here, you stupid brute!"
So I slip around the alley and
Okay.
take a peek back around. Is he like pursuing, or
He's not pursuing. He's kind of
Where's-
he stepped out
where's the
into the
kid gone?
street and he's just yelling curses at you.
is the kid gone?
Kid's gone.
All right, I start casting a spell.
Okay.
It will take 2 rounds. So hopefully he spends a little bit looking around. And
There's just yelling and cursing at you. As you're casting this spell, you notice doorways start to open and heads start to peer out into the street. And a conversation amongst the townsfolk starts at the dwarf yelling, "There's a big ugly fucker out there who tried to break into Macmillan's shop."
I'm crouched in the alley, chanting and praying. Yeah. Is he like steps out into the street to talk to the townsfolk?
He's very near the door. He's like 3 steps from the door. He's yelling obscenities at you in your general direction. He can't see you anymore. And people are coming out. "What's going on? The ugly bastard. He tried to break into the shop. Blah, blah, blah."
Ready. Let me know when 2 rounds have passed. And
Yeah, 2 minutes pass. A couple of townsfolk have stepped out with torches and they start to walk around, kind of looking for you.
yeah. Well, a breeze picks up and I conjure a dust devil right smack dab on top of the dwarf standing in the doorway.
What's the casting range of Dust Devil?
30 yards.
Okay. Yeah. So this Dust Devil woof, appears around the dwarf. Please give me your attack roll with the Dust Devil when it summons upon him.
Yeah. Does it include my THAC0 or just a straight D20? Either way, it doesn't matter.
I'm not sure, to be honest. The dwarf yells in surprise. One of the townsfolk who was walking around the alleyway turns as the dwarf yells and catches sight of you, this big shape in this bloodied cloak in an alleyway.
A townsfolk, you said?
Yeah, just a random townsfolk with a torch. He yells, "I see him here!" And we roll initiative.
All right, 10.
Okay. The townsfolk with his torch goes first. He swings it at you and hits you with it despite everything. AC 14, right?
Yep, he's in the dark, so he gets a -2 to hit.
Okay. No, he's not in the dark. He's attacking you with a torch.
Oh, fair enough.
A natural 19 is actually a critical hit.
Oh my god. Where did this guy came from, like behind me in the alley?
No, he came from out in the main street.
Okay.
Let's see, a torch I think just does D4 damage, so
I think even less. I think it's like.
because it's part fire, part club.
Yeah, I think it does like 1 point of fire damage and then like a. Oh, D4. You're right, D4.
Nice. Where did you find the damage, by the way?
It's in combat and tactics.
Of course, of course. All right, he hits you for 5 points of damage. You need to make a saving throw versus death as the fire burns you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, indeed. It is smaller than you, so it does D6 severity, which does nothing significant. The winds pick up and whirl around the guy. What was your initiative?
So I was casting a spell. Does that? Do I get a saving throw or is it just interrupted?
Yeah, give me a rules as written. It's interrupted, right?
Yeah, but you in some way. Well, yeah. I think rules as written. It's vague, but rules as written. It's if you take damage, it's interrupted. But I don't know. I feel like in some ways you've ruled. I don't know.
We have house ruled, yeah. I think it should be a con check with the target number is a 21 plus the amount of damage you've taken.
It's like some 5e shit here.
Yeah.
The house rules change every time.
Yeah. So you need to do a 26 con check.
No.
No?
All right.
Your spell is interrupted.
All right. I growl at him and try to intimidate him back, but I guess that's not going to happen. The Dust Devil.
Make another attack roll
Is
with
there
it?
any? Yeah, I take a. Is there anyone? Are there any other townsfolk charging in, or is it just the dwarf?
The dwarf is still by the doorway. He's obscured by the Dust Devil. The townsfolk is before you. He whapped you with this. The street has other people in it, but they're all just looky-loos. No one has joined the fray.
Yeah, so I guess I'll leave the Dust Devil to beat on the dwarf.
Make the attack roll.
It's just blinding him. And if he's trying to get out of it, I have it follow him.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess initiative.
Oh, right. What does the dwarf do this round? You hear... Actually, you probably don't hear anything. Never mind. Initiative.
I hear the whirling of wind.
Yeah. The townsfolk takes another swing with his torch and says... Yeah,
he
rolled
4-7?
Yeah, definitely. And he yells at you, "Thief! This will be your last day!" As the torch whistles in front of you. Or hisses in front of you.
I hiss back. Oh, God.
Slash the longsword is ineffective. But the naked steel...
Is he armed? Armored, I mean?
He is not armored. Sorry, I thought that was a 3 that you rolled to hit. What's with the 3? What was that?
That was my longsword. And then the 12 is my dagger.
Ah.
I need to look up how crappy my dagger is, though. D2. 1 point of damage. Come on, fail.
He lives.
This
but
is
with
not
the
your fight, scum.
the long sword and dagger seem to scare him off because he retreats at the beginning of the next round unless you go first. Roll initiative. I think you might go first, actually.
7.
Yeah. He takes a step back in surprise.
No.
You swing the long sword well in front of him, clattering against the sides of the alleyway.
I take this opportunity to sprint into the alley as he withdraws. Cutting around a corner, leaping into a shadow.
Okay.
And disappearing, leaving the Dust Devil to wreak havoc in the streets.
Okay. You managed to disappear.
And if I can throw it in the front door of the weapon shop as I'm running away before I lose line of sight of it, I'll do that. just to cause more mayhem, make bigger mess for people to clean up.
Okay.
And I run.
You flee into the shadows, into the night, into the alleyway. After some time, you slow yourself and find yourself back in your near the apothecary.
God, Chad is already assuming that I'm dead.
Well, yeah.
You guys can't math. I have 18 HP. And I healed myself for 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 3 life. So I make my way back to the apothecary shop, go in through the unlocked back door. What time of day is almost dawn?
No. It's been maybe a few hours since you got here, and you got here at sundown. Or evening. You make it into the shop, shut the door behind you. You're bleeding, you're wounded, your pride is hurt, and you're pretty sure a bunch of people saw a hobgoblin. Despite your low hood over your face, to actually fight something, you're pretty sure they saw you. But you're safe for the time being.
Yep. I make sure no one sees me approach the apothecary shop.
Yeah, it's an empty alleyway.
Okay. And then I step inside to lock the door behind me and go back into the basement.
Okay. You enter the basement. It's calm. It's quiet. The rain is just a whisper at this point.
I throw the unsheathed longsword clattering to the ground. I don't even think it's bloodied at this point. And I take a seat, start orisoning my wounds up. And then eventually go to sleep.
Okay. The night passes, and you are awoken sometime the next day by the cleric Lorth.
Mm-hmm.
Loric, I believe. No, Lorth. Lorith. He rouses you gently from your slumber and says, Psylock, I would ask how your night went, but it appears maybe not so good.
What time is it? Do I feel rested?
You feel rested. A few hours after sunup. I was about to open my shop, but thought to check in on you first.
Very well. Open your shop. I have my prayers to attend to. Your altar will serve nicely.
He nods and goes up the stairs, stopping at the top to say, we shall talk this evening. Maybe it's best you stay down here all day. And then he exits the rest of the way. The trapdoor shuts. You can actually hear a heavy thing moving across it. Sounds like he's pulled some stuff over it.
He's locking me in here. Oh, it's a trapdoor. Right?
Yeah. It's not supposed to be visible.
Yeah.
And then throughout the rest of the day, you can hear the clattering of the shop above. Musings of the old man, the half-orc talking to him from time to time. You can if you pay close attention, you can overhear the conversation of him and the customers. But it's all typical stuff, kids showing up saying, I want so-and-so to fall in love with me. Do you have a love potion? And he's like, yes, here, take this. Oil of newt. It will make the person crave you. Another person coming by for this and that and the other thing. And you clearly hear at one point someone comes by asking for some sort of poison, and the shop owner chases him out angrily. Say, well, we don't delve in dark deeds here. This is a good shop. I am a good man. Take your evil wishes elsewhere. And you have the whole day to yourself.
Yeah, I'll memorize spells. Pray on the altar of Verasi. First time I've actually prayed in a real church.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you'd call this. I guess let's just redo what I've got written down. Cure light wounds, cause fear, command, orison, dust devil, cure moderate. And let's throw a cure moderate at it. 10. Nice. Just what the doctor ordered. Thanks, Barassi. She gets it.
She gets it.
This cranky Lorik may want to keep me locked down here, but Barassi knows what's up. And I'll use an Orison to heal myself to full.
Nice.
And then I spend the rest of the day. I'm not too grumpy about being locked in the basement. I'm a creature of the night after all. So I rest up, I lick my wounds, spend time in contemplation. A little salty I didn't get to take care of anything on my to-do list last night, but was there food anywhere for me or anything edible amongst
there's nothing obvious, but there's a bunch of crates and barrels and stuff underneath the stairs.
Okay, I'll take a look in them.
Yeah, in one of them you find a barrel of apples. One of them is a barrel of water. One has some salted meat in it.
I make sure it's not the fetid meat.
No, this is salted, edible, for living human meat.
Yeah. All right. Then I eat and rest and contemplate my predicament.
Okay.
I want blades, good steel.
Good steel is hard to come by.
And I want my claws. And then I want to hunt down those spears of Philumbra and take back what is mine. One soul for every soul that was taken from me.
The day passes. Eventually,
there's books down here, right?
There are many books.
I don't know that Psylock's much of a reader, but he can read, and he's probably never really had an opportunity to read in his life. I mean, he obviously learned probably intercepting notes from the humans and being the only one in the tribe who could.
Yeah, the former shaman, the former firebringer, helped with that.
Yeah. So I've probably never. I don't even have I ever seen a book in my life.
Yeah, you've definitely seen a few books. You probably had a few before your tent burned down.
Okay, cool. So I'll take a look at what's on the shelves.
There are a lot of books dealing with the nature of life and death. Just what does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be dead? What are the physical processes that things go through when they die?
I'm halfway through a healing proficiency, so that's perfect. I probably skipped to the pictures of like the anatomy drawings and things. Like, oh, so that's how you stab him. That's where the kidney goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of information on that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And the candles of ever burning continue to burn without dwindling in the slightest.
Nice.
But the day passes, and eventually Lorth comes back down to see you again. Saying, well, all in a good day's work. Appearances must be kept up, you know.
I don't know how you do it.
Oh. You have your talents, I have mine. The goddess requires sacrifices of all of us. If I must deal with a few morons and fools, so be it.
I choose to make my sacrifices daily with blood.
It appears there was a marauding hobgoblin in town last night. Tried to open up Old Man Millen's shop. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that? He kind of gives a sideways glance at you and notices your wounds have been healed over.
My robes are tattered and bloody, though. I say, well, the tribes have been broken asunder. I imagine there are many alone rampaging hobgoblins in the plains these days.
It's not the way I hear it. The local rumor says that the hobgoblins have been driven from the plains entirely. For the first time in a few decades, what few hobgoblins are left are stuck in the hills. There's even a report of mountain giants crushing hobgoblins to death.
All those quests for nothing.
Sacrifices in blood, I see. Well, we shall remedy that soon. Have you given any thought to the dragon bone, or the elves, or the emeralds?
I need good steel. And my right hand. And my other right hand. And my third right hand. There are errands to be run.
What sort of steel do you need?
I fling my sharpened femur shiv across the room at him.
He smiles. I believe I have some daggers around I could lend you.
That would do nicely. Good steel is so hard to come by.
He comes over and peruses in one of those crates and pulls out 2 bronze daggers.
Will bronze change the combat penalties? Or change
no, it's just if you roll a natural 20, it needs to make a saving throw versus crushing blow or it breaks.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yes. And what is this talk of 3 right hands?
I need some hands.
Ah.
Sigils of Verasi. Oh, shit. I don't know that I really had a holy symbol. I have a disembodied hobgoblin hand, but I don't have any crawling claws. I think I fucked up.
Could you not have cast those spells without a holy symbol?
Yeah, let's just retcon that I died and end this campaign now. Maybe I found a holy symbol somewhere in this guy's basement, or I don't know. I don't know how you want to handle it. But nope, I don't have a holy symbol anymore.
We'll just let's not worry about it. Here we are.
I need a holy symbol now. I mean, did I find a holy symbol in his basement? Does the random hobgoblin hand I have in my pocket seem to be working?
It is not working. Because that's Scouters. What was his name? The hobgoblin kid who was your scout.
Yeah, I
Sniffers.
think so. Yeah, Sniffer's hand.
Yeah.
Summoning. What sphere is the create holy symbol?
I don't know.
Because Morton had it on his list, but for some reason Psylock does not.
It might be summoning.
I have summoning. That's why I'm confused.
Maybe it's conjuration.
Conjuration is a wizard thing.
I don't know, man. It's something. Well, if it's hands you need, I believe I have them. And he walks over to the bookshelf, pulls on a book, and the altar starts to slide open.
Notebook. I don't have that book. Oh, does your... Let's see. Is creation different? It's probably creation, which is different than summoning. So I could not have created it. Yeah, it's going to be creation. All right, then.
He opens the secret entrance and slinks down below. Do you follow him?
Sure.
Okay.
Pretending to be seeing this for the first time.
He brings a candelabra with him as you guys head down. He gets to the bottom floor and goes, "These are my lovely friends. Have you given your undead that you control any standing orders?"
I think I controlled all. Weren't there a dozen?
Yeah.
I think they all. No, I sort of just ignored them. So presumably, I don't know.
They start to
This
kind
is
of
all very new
shuffle
to Psylock.
and move around, and he walks out into the middle of them. Goes, turns to face and goes, "These friends of mine," as the zombie shuffles towards him, reaches out towards him.
I don't let it. I know if it looks like it's going to attack him, I'll like.
You command it to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe even I shout. I said, "Stop!"
What? Stop what? These are my pets. They obey my commands unfailingly.
Oh, it looked like he was going to bite you.
No.
Does it seem like their default is just eat flesh if they're not instructed otherwise?
You know what you've seen.
Well, they're awesome.
Yes, they certainly are. Take any hands you like. I will tell them to.
I draw a dagger and start collecting hands.
He seems to be lost in thought and focus as you go about amputating limbs.
Yeah. Should he roll a control undead of his own? See if he can.
Yeah. There's a moment of careful consideration, and you feel the undead slipping from your control.
Yeah, I don't fight it. My gracious host, I don't need to piss him off.
He breathes a long breath and goes, "It seems the goddess is upset with me somehow. She wrested my minions from me. We must hurry. We are losing her favor."
All right, so I remove several hands, and then head up to the basement. And I think enjoy having a fully stocked alchemical setup as I turn Sniffer's hand into bone powder.
Okay.
How many doses of bone powder does a Sniffer hand yield?
10.
Nice. And then proceed to start animating crawling claws.
How many do you animate? 3?
Oh, yeah, the 3 hands that I've...
All right, give me 3d3.
3d3 plus... Okay, yeah, it's 3d3.
Okay. Superior.
Yeah, nice batch.
And now you have holy symbols up the yin-yang. Up the wazoo.
Yep. Cool. All right. These are all rotty and stinky though, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Just how you like them.
God, I smell like death. All right. Does Lorik have anything to say about the ritual? Does he seem to know what's going on, or is he curious?
He observes quietly from the side. You actually catch him taking some notes here and there. But he just observes quietly.
Yeah. And with the final incantation, I concentrate, and the claws all leap to my person, to my hobgoblin.
Most impressive.
Assemble under my robe.
Most impressive indeed.
Is this not how you created your hand? I point to his glove.
No, this is something a little different. This was my initiation.
Well, we hobgoblins are a blessed race. Blood of Varasi flows through us without any sort of initiation.
Yes, well, time is upon us. It waits for no man. Where will you go first? What will you do? I can provide some assistance in these matters, but I must stay here.
Well, dragon is far to the east. In the forest along the shore. I suppose that is where I must go to retrieve these bones.
Excellent. Do bring back as much as you can carry. For what we do not use in this ritual, I have plenty of uses for in the future. It would be nice to have a stockpile.
Yes. Well,
I presume you can get there and back just fine on your own?
as I said, these are my planes.
Yes. Very well then, Psylock. He walks over to the salted meats and apples. He goes, I see you've already helped yourself to some food. Take what you need for your journey.
I pack up my bag full of rations. How far away is the forest? Oops. Looks like 50 miles.
Yeah.
So that'll be like
2 days, 3 days.
Off road, it'd probably be like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about a week there and back. Yeah. I'll probably find some food along the way, though.
Sure. There are plenty of towns and villages along the way with plenty of resources and supplies.
Did you change so that when you roll an 18 on hotness, it does a D100?
NECA did that. It's just for all. That's supposed to be the exceptional strength score.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow it does it for hot. No, it doesn't do it for other stats. It does it for hotness, though. That's weird.
It's got 18-95 hotness. That's pretty impressive.
I've never seen it do percentile for hotness before. That might be a recent update. I don't know.
NECA.
NECA Lucifer.
All right. Okay. It's night, right?
Yes.
So I guess I will just slip out into the street.
Okay.
And make my way out of the city. There's no wall, so it should be pretty easy. I slip out due east, avoiding the road.
It is plenty easy to slip out and make your way over land. The rain continues. If I can find the rain. Oh my. Roll 20. What are you doing? Yeah, you slip out into the open plains and make your way there. Let's roll some initiative. Some columns.
Encounters.
That's the one. My roll 20 is not opening for me anymore.
Yeah, mine is.
I think their servers might be having some trouble because I can't connect to anything.
Yeah, mine is saying. Let's see. What will we do without our dice? Will I have to roll my rolls in person?
Maybe. Okay, so the journey there is very uneventful. You just here, finally connecting. It's wet. It's watery. It's frustrating. It's muddy. It seems that there's a bit of a storm over the entire region. It's not. The winds are low. It's just pretty much rain and more rain and some occasional lightning and thunder. It is that time of year, though.
Mm-hmm. I need some help. Some slaves, some beasts of burden, maybe. So we'll see. I see no one in the plains on the way there? Do I pass any farms?
You do pass plenty of farms. So you'll occasionally see herds of animals about, but they tend to also kind of you usually see them through open barn doors. You'll see the occasional farmer here and there, but in the rain they just kind of stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
It is autumn, right?
Yeah,
It's
getting on
rapidly
towards winter.
approaching the harvest. This is probably the last rain of the year. The last rain before everything gets harvested.
Winters. Doesn't it rain all through the winter?
Yeah, the winter will have more rain. You don't usually get that much rain in the autumn, so you'll probably have 1 or 2 good rainstorms, and then harvest, and then when like the heart of winter comes along, it gets pretty nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho,
Yeah.
you arrive back in the forest after 3 days of walking, 4 days, 3.5 days of trudging through the plains and the mud. You've got plenty of water.
Yeah. I don't have my tent anymore.
Nope.
So I'm like hiding. I'm probably cutting the days short if I find good shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Hiding under trees or in holes, in graves,
Yeah.
whatever I can find. Abandoned barns in the woods.
But you do
and
make
plains.
it. You make it to the eastern forest. The tall trees give you some shelter, but large water droplets keep coming down on you. You make your way back towards that same lake. It appears to be peaceful, little drops of water sending ripples everywhere. There's
Well,
no sign of hobgoblin or kobolds around.
Yeah. But Psylock can't swim. So, I don't think I can actually solve this problem. Or can you do like non-proficient swimming proficiency checks?
You can try, but failure is drowning. So I don't know if you want to roll the dice
No.
on that one.
No. Needs me some slaves.
So you sit in contemplation about this pool for a while.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah.
When you hear a strange whistling noise coming from somewhere in the woods. It's hard to pinpoint the location with all the echoing and all the rain and everything. It sounds kind of like a happy whistling tune.
This troubles me. I stand up, and I do have a detect noise.
Give me your detect noise.
15.
You do hear the noise, but you can't pinpoint its location.
I draw my blades, and
Daggers or longsword?
daggers.
Okay.
Daggers, and look about.
Um,
I think I'll hide in a bush and wait and see if anything comes into the clearing. Keep an ear out for the whistling.
Takes a moment or two, like a minute or two, but you see a few kobold females down by the lake, filling up little buckets with water.
I load a bolt in my crossbow
Mm-hmm.
and take a pot shot.
Give me a roll to hit. +1 for surprise. +2 for side attack. +1 for flank attack. The bolt whistles through the wet air, thudding into the bucket the woman's holding. A shriek goes up from the females as you guys roll for initiative.
Were they whistle? These are the kobolds were whistling.
Mm-hmm.
What do kobolds have to whistle about?
They own the forest, man. It's theirs.
Actually, that's actually a 15 with my high dex.
Yeah, they scatter and flee, leaving the wounded bucket to rest there.
Fucking kobolds.
Yeah, didn't you break the crossbow string?
Oh, you're right. I didn't shoot it. There was no bolt fired.
There's no bolt fired at all. What do you do instead?
I guess I hucked a dagger. I didn't. No, I wouldn't have hucked one of these nice ones, and I left my bone dagger. I guess nothing. I probably leaped out of the bush and screamed as I ran at them, and chased them off.
Okay, you just chase them off and they disappear.
Right.
It's fine.
I totally forgot to fix my crossbow. Although it's not like I can walk into a shop and purchase a new one or purchase a new bowstring. Nobody likes this poor hobgoblin.
Nope.
I think I will leave this clearing behind and go in search of some lumberjacks to enslave.
Okay. Near sundown, you've been kind of trudging around all day. But near sundown, you come across a small camp. You see a bunch of logs have been stacked to kind of give a little bit of a shelter. Some branches have been put over it. It's a rudimentary shelter, but it's better than a tent. It's got more room. It's got more space. You can see there's a fire burning inside of it. It looks like it's made out of felled trees and branches. Maybe some canvas thrown in there as well. It appears to be a good shelter. You can only see light coming out through the cracks. A little bit of smoke swirls around the outside. You think you can almost smell roasted rabbit on the wind, but it's probably your imagination. There's too much rain. You wouldn't be able to smell anything but that rabbit.
Been eating nothing but salted meat for days. Well, time to go get some slaves. I approached the camp silently under the cover of night. You said it was getting dark?
Yes. Definitely under the cover of darkness. You approach the camp. As you are approaching the camp, there is an awkward moment when you're moving as silently as possible, but you step on something. No, you don't step on something. You brush your leg into this string that jingles these cans of rocks that seem to have been strung up in anticipation of an intruder of sorts. And the string jingles and all these cans go and a noise is made.
I cut the string with my dagger and sigh as I stand and maybe look for somewhere to hide.
97 on your check. Sorry.
Yikes.
Yeah. The camp is 100 yards out away from the actual forest itself. So at this point, there's not much place to hide other than on the there's a bunch of felled trees that make up the two sides. So you could hide on the other side of the felled trees, but that means getting right next to the camp.
Yeah, sure. I think I break out into a jog and go diving behind those trees. Let me know if I see anyone on my way there. Is this the same camp that I went to earlier?
It's in the same vicinity, but it looks very different. It looks much more... I don't know. The previous one was just like a tent and a fire pit.
I have a 40% chance to detect new construction. Do I detect new construction?
I think that's underground.
Yeah, sure. But I feel like it's applicable here too.
This looks like new construction.
All right. I run to the felled logs on the side of the camp and jump behind them.
You hear coming from the inside.
I tumble behind them.
Give me a tumbling check. Nice.
It's a close one. But
you hear some voices coming from the tent. One of them saying, "It's got to be him. It's got to be the hobgoblin. He's back to kill us again. And the guy's like, it's probably just a rabbit. I'm going to go take a look. And the guy's like, no, 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 no. It's the monster. Jacob never returned.
How many tents are there?
Just this one shelter. You can hear at least 3 voices, different voices inside. And one of them says, look, guys, I'm going to go take a look. It's probably nothing. It's raining outside.
How far away is the tent from where I am?
It's on the other side of a couple of large logs.
Okay, I'm going to try climbing over the logs and getting to the entrance to the tent before they can leave. I might as well just talk to them all at once, tell them how it's going to be.
All right.
Look, guys, you're my slaves. My climbing is 60%.
The logs are not stacked that high. You don't even need a climbing check. It's
Okay.
zip, zop, zooey over. So you make your way over just as
and I think just as the guy's like, I'm gonna go check. Don't worry, it's probably not a hobgoblin. Cue Psylock like walking in the tent. They see like a shadow of a hobgoblin.
Yeah,
looming over the tent.
The man in question, as he steps out, he sees you standing before him. He drops back in immediately and goes, "Oh my God, it's him! The hobgoblin's back!"
I'm gonna take control of. Well, I will speak to them. I say, I have returned for your souls, but if you do not struggle, you may yet make it out of this alive. Should I roll a charisma check? All right, and
yeah.
I was mostly joking, but. You could have them roll a reaction adjust.
I will.
Boom! They cower in fear and submit to my every will.
Oh, that is an interesting reaction adjustment.
My reaction adjust is -2.
Well, that still, if it was -3, I would have been better. Or worse. Something like that. And
I think I step into the tent at this point, revealing myself to them.
You step in. They have backed to the other side, which is all branches. They have their wood-cutting axes in hand. You see 3 of them. 2 of them you recognize as the people you let go from the previous time. Well, no, one of them was the guy that you let go from the previous time. One of them died, and then you murdered the other one. 2 of these guys you don't recognize.
Okay, so I point to the one that I let go, and I say, "You owe me a debt."
What happened to Jacob?
Jacob and I made a bargain. His wife and children still breathe.
And Jacob?
Jacob is in a better place.
Oh, God. Mother, have mercy. They hold their axes and say, well, what do you want with us?
I have need of your labor.
They exchange glances and wait for more.
The goddess has need of your labor.
Martha?
I just grin, showing my yellow tusks.
One of them says, I think he means Verasi.
In a lake south of here in the forest lie the bones of an ancient green dragon. These bones must be retrieved. And you 3 are going to help me do this. And I will take control of my skeletal hands. And yeah, we'll see. Did they say anything?
As you start to take control of their skeletal hands, they say something to the effects of, well, there's 3 of us and 1 of you. What makes you think, oh my God, are those hands?
Hands like... Hold still, or you will die. And I hope they don't actually attack the hands, which each one of them leaps at each of the 3 lumberjacks.
Okay, they all hold still.
Yeah.
The hands.
And I guess I'll have it like a grasp around their ankles,
Okay.
and I like squat down in the tent. I assume you've gathered that you are all cursed.
Cursed?
I point to the skeletal hands grasping their ankle. Verasi will not let you out of her clutches until the debt is paid. I can absolve you of your sins. I can save your souls.
They shake with fear. One of them says, "What? If we get these dragon bones for you, you'll let us go?"
I nod slowly. You are better negotiators than Jacob was. I'll give you that.
I don't think we have much choice. Oh, I knew
You
I
really
shouldn't have.
don't.
I knew I shouldn't have come out here to do this. Once Jacob died, there was. Oh God! I thought the plains were supposed to be cleared. I thought all the hobgoblins were dead.
We are. Woo!
And with that, let's take our break. We'll see you guys on the other side. Bye bye.